Today our guest is Kubie Szmajkowski. Welcome, Kuba. How are you feeling? Are you stressed? Are you relaxed? Have you ever done an interview in English?
Hello, yeah, a couple of times, but actually it was a couple of months ago. So yeah, I'm chilled for now.
Good. Well, you have a company, so
yeah, it's
that
my
helps
dog
a lot.
Billy.
Hello,
Say
Billy.
hi to everybody.
That's so cute. Yeah, so Billy is also our guest today, but Kuba is going to be the main focus of today's episode. I think the best way to describe you to our listeners is to tell a little bit about yourself, about you. You've been in the show business, in music industry ever since you were 15 years old. You started your career in The Voice Kids. And ever since then, you've been singing, you've been a singer, but you're also a songwriter. I'm very glad you're here today, and I'm sure we're going to have interesting conversations.
Thank you for your invitation,
yeah,
of course.
Thank you for being here. I want you to know that this is a judgment-free space, meaning we can open up. This is also the part of the podcast. What I'm doing is to show inspiring people, and we can talk in English to show other people that we can break down those language barriers, and we can have a nice conversation and go deep. I want to get to know Kuba today. I want to show people who you are. And doing this in English, I think, is going to be a different experience to you, because at the end of the day, when I think of myself, I have, with each language, I respond differently. There is a different expression, whether it's English, Polish, or Spanish. I respond differently to questions because there's emotions there. It's not about grammar, you know? It's about emotions that the language evokes. So I'm wondering how deep we're gonna get to know you.
I'm super curious how it's gonna go.
Hopefully it's gonna be a good conversation. I want to start with the beginning of your career. You started your career at the age of 15. At that age, do you already have the self-awareness as an artist, or is it more like, being thrown into the deep end and figuring things out as you go?
To be honest, I didn't know how it's gonna look like, because I was 15 and I was only watching like TV shows with my family, with my friends, and I was crazy about The Voice of Poland.
Yeah, me too.
And I was watching like literally every episode, and I knew all of the participants, what they were singing in each episode, and I was crazy about this. So it was super nice to be there. And I remember when I heard about the audition, then I told my parents that I really want to be there and let's go. Then my mom told me that they are leaving for holidays, and I was entirely broke. But I asked my cousin, auntie, let's say, and we went there together. But the producer realized that she's not my real mom. She's not my mom.
Okay.
And then when they called me that I'm finally in the show and these auditions, which you can see in a TV, then he just asked, Kuba, but please come next time. Like this time you have to come with
your mom.
Yeah, with your real parents.
Yeah.
It was super funny.
But at that age, it's 15. When I think of myself being a 15-year-old kid, because I think that's a kid in my eyes. I didn't have self-awareness about anything really. I was growing up and, I didn't know who I was. I think this started when I was, 19, when I moved abroad, so quite late. But when you were 15 years old and you walked on that stage, what did you feel? Did you feel like you're ready? Did you know what you want to tell people with your voice, with your music?
To be honest, I didn't know what's going to happen next after this one performance, because I thought that it's going to be the one performance. Of course, I was very confident. But on the other hand, I didn't know if the chair is going to turn around.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to make it to the next level, to the next episode. So I was really shocked. And
how many chairs have turned?
Three. All of them.
Three of them.
Yeah,
all of them. Wow.
Yes. It was crazy because I remember only that kind of feelings when I just was on the stage and started singing, and then only black screen
Yeah,
in front of my eyes.
For your eyes, I can imagine.
Yeah, so so to be honest, I only remember these emotions after the performance when I came back home, and I was very stressed about how did it go. Like, you know,
Naturally, I mean, it's
yeah,
natural
like,
to feel stress.
I was very happy that I just made it, because it was the biggest dream.
It must have been
literally.
huge, right? To
Yes.
just have 3 chairs turned.
Yes. And, you know, it was like the first Polish edition of Voice Kids, and we didn't even expect that it's going to go so viral. Like, it was a huge hit in TV, and I'm super glad to myself, to my instinct, that I told myself that I really want to go there this time, because otherwise maybe, you know, I'm not going to do this.
There was an opportunity and you just took it. You decided to go, and here you are today. So I think it was a good decision after all.
I'm super grateful, and I'm super grateful to my auntie.
Thank you, auntie.
Yeah, and to the producers, to the whole team from TV. They just trusted me, and that's it. Like, when I just go back sometimes to this time, I just cannot imagine what was inside of my head, because actually right now I'm 22 and I moved on, and I went through such a long way and a lot of situations which made me stronger. But then I was like, you know, I was only 15. I didn't know what's gonna happen. So actually it was very demanding for me as a kid. Yeah,
we're gonna talk more about being kid and being in show business and in the music industry, because I think this is extremely important. We're gonna move on to the topic of hate speech. But before we do that, this is your quote from your interview, so I'm gonna read it. "Ever since I can remember, I have had no other dreams than singing."
Yeah.
And now you're doing this full time, right? It has turned into your job. Do you think achieving your dreams where you are now has lived up to your expectations? Meaning, there was a 15-year-old shy Kuba walking on a stage, and you had some expectations. Do you think, I mean, obviously you had a dream of singing and this becoming your profession. Do you think these expectations have been met by you in a way?
Yeah, like, for sure, if I told myself I would get this far, I would not believe, for sure. Because, it's all about being consistent. And it's all about, you know, just working on your weaknesses. And each day I struggle with a lot of problems, like not only hate, but, you know, like I have to tell somebody because of the songs, because of who I am, and because of who I really want to be, like not only in the show business but in life. And sometimes I feel super lost, and sometimes people see it, because when I perform during this time, for example, in a TV show or somewhere, when I just have some concerts, then it's very hard to hide your emotions.
But on the other hand, you know, you're being authentic that way.
Yes.
I mean, if you feel like this, you let people know.
Yes.
So, and they appreciate it.
I'm very okay with it. I am very okay with it. And I really want to be authentic. I really want to tell people about my, you know, second thoughts sometimes. Sometimes I say that I don't care about hate, but on the other hand, you know,
I think we do.
Yeah,
in a way, we all do. In a
I just say it because let's say it's some kind of a boundary.
Yeah, that you
for me.
Yeah,
and I do really care sometimes, because I'm only human, and I got sometimes a day when I, you know, don't have to do a lot, and I get like a chill day.
And then you think a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot.
Yeah,
I'm reading a lot. You know, you can read 40 positive comments, positive feedback, but on the other hand, when you see like 2 comments who are just blaming you or just offending you, then your mood is going down. It brings me down so bad. And yeah, I'm still struggling with it.
We're going to talk more about hatred, about hate speech later on. But before, I want to ask you, did you have any guidance? Meaning, did you have any role models when you were 15? I mean, you're a kid. Did you have anyone to support you? Because at the end of the day, as I said, I'm going to keep saying this, you're a kid. So you need some sort of backup, some support, no? So was it your parents? Was it your family, managers, professionals? Did they help you out in this new reality?
Yeah, like I can mention one situation when I just was after releasing this first performance in TV and on YouTube. Then I read all of these comments, and I was laying in my bed, like, 5 days, and just asking myself, oh my goodness, what did I make wrong?
You were blaming yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like people were, just commenting and talking about the way I move, the way I look, about my appearance, and about like literally every small detail.
Can you name any example, something that drew your attention, a comment that really stuck with you?
It's hard to say because I read a lot of comments, but the one comment which I remember until today, till this day, it's that I was like moving like a paralyzed person or something.
It's very mean to say that.
So, but coming back to the topic, I was really broken, and then I called my manager, and she was like, if you don't want to read negative comments or any opinions, you just should stay at home and, do nothing, literally. So that this day I realized that I just have to move on, and, my parents, of course, helped me a lot, but the fact which was very building for me when I was 16, my parents didn't even, they were not disturbing me, let's say, when I was at work. They were not like commenting or giving opinions which are, which are not okay for me. They were not bringing me down, for sure, because they didn't know like how this life looks like. They didn't know because my parents are from absolutely different industry, and they didn't know how to behave sometimes, but I had huge support from them, so I'm very, very grateful. And from the team, from my label, and it was very very demanding time for me, but now I can say that I grew stronger, and it's all about dealing with hate.
Yeah, because you can look at it both ways, in my opinion at least. There is hate that goes against you. I mean, everybody has an opinion, and you can either choose not to react to it, meaning they can say whatever they want. But when you're a kid, I think it's impossible not to react.
It's impossible to react because like you're very sensitive. Your soul is very sensitive.
Yeah, like you're not aware of yourself. You don't know who you are. You're developing as a person. You know what I mean?
And that kind of things can make you for sure cry. Can make you cry, can make you be in a deep depression or something. And it's horrible. It's very destructive. So I'm very grateful for my parents, for my family, and to my management these days.
And a young Kuba, was he reading those comments, or did you decide not to read them or react?
Yes, I was reading still, but now I have a lot of things to do and more interesting things to do. But of course, I have a couple of days sometimes when I'm just off work I don't have concerts. I don't have any, activities. So sometimes I'm scrolling and reading, and it really brings me down. So.
And now you're a man. You're 22 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Man, right?
Yeah, and it
still affects you. So let's think about those kids.
Yeah.
Who are fragile.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you maintain self-confidence in all of this? Because as you said, now you sometimes read those comments. Does it affect your confidence still, or are you indifferent to those comments?
Sometimes, yes. Because I'm a very empathetic person. And I think that sometimes it goes very deep down inside of my heart and soul, and I'm just, struggling and thinking about these things which the people are talking about in social media about me. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, do I look okay? Maybe I put on weight. Questioning
your
myself.
Looks, your appearance. Second thoughts.
Yes. Maybe I put on weight. That's the reason why they're commenting that maybe my face that doesn't look like 2 years ago or something, So I've been through a lot of that kind of things, a lot of that kind of situations, and still struggling for sure. But
perhaps the best way is, it's easier said than done, obviously, but not to react to it that much.
Yeah, it's not to react and just make your head more busy with different things which can make you, more productive. And that's the thing, I guess. And just being surrounded with people who really wish you well. And this is very, very important.
I'm thinking now, because you mentioned social media, children have been in show business for years, but before social media were a thing, I feel like people didn't have this weapon to use against you. Do you think social media is this place that can turn into this negativity in a way from people?
For sure. Like I see when I spend a lot of time in social media, even me, I see that even in me, it generates a lot of negative energy when I spend a lot of time in social media. So I see that sometimes people really don't have interesting life after work even. And they're just, spending time on TikTok, on Instagram, and just having deep conversation with strangers. It's crazy. And about security, because of hate, it's hard to say. Of course, it's very good to have a good advisor. To be honest, during my career, I've had a lot of advisors, and they were not wishing well. They thought that they want all of the best things for me, but they were, just Billy, sit here, baby. Spokojnie. Calm down, Billy.
Calm down. All good.
And these people are trying to help, but it's not helping me and me as an artist, me as a person. I need to just develop myself in the way I want to do it. I want to know myself more and more with every situation, with every concert, with every new lyrics, new experience. And of course, the constructive criticism is necessary.
It's a feedback.
It's a feedback.
In that case, it's very helpful. But hate is the opposite.
Hate is absolutely opposite. Like I like to read sometimes comments or from people who are talking about that, or maybe you should sing like in a different way or something, or I love to hear the feedback from my vocal teacher, from my team. It's absolutely different
from professionals, from people who have something to say, right?
Yeah, but when you just read the stuff like, you look like piece of shit or something, then it's like absolutely, you just don't need that kind of energy, that kind of words.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need it. It's very obvious, but sometimes it's very hard to realize, even if I don't think about it, even if I don't think that it's bringing me down, it brings me down because I'm just reading it.
Subconsciously, your brain tells
my
you
brain
this
is
and
questioning
that.
myself,
Yeah.
as you said, and it's very crazy.
In one of your interviews, and I mean, you're quite open about it, you said that you're critical of yourself. And I wonder if do you think this stems from the hate that you've experienced, that you're trying to prove yourself?
For sure. And I see it.
Yeah.
I see it, like I'm trying to fight with it. Even when I read the words like, oh my gosh, you put on weight or something.
Yeah.
I'm working out at the gym, and maybe sometimes when you just work out too much, then your face looks a little bit different.
It does, indeed.
Yeah. On the one hand, it's good because it's very good to stop in the right moment.
Yeah, true. I agree with that.
But on the other hand, yeah, I had a situation when I was just blaming myself, and it was very destructive for my brain, like for me as a person. So it's very important to, as I said, be surrounded with people who will just tell you,
who support you.
Don't be paranoid. Just they talking about bullshit. You're okay. Everything is okay.
Everything is good. Everything is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You're overthinking. So
Yeah.
perhaps this is the overthinking part, that
Yeah.
the reality is that somebody's gonna put which again, hate speech is bad and it should not be the case, but sometimes somebody doesn't mean to say something, and then you
Yes. But I've realized a couple of times in show business that I thought a lot of situations were big, and I thought that I have huge problem.
Yeah.
But now I'm just, in a different place right now.
Yeah.
And I see it from this different perspective.
But it's because you grew as a person.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, again, it goes back to the issue of kids being in show business.
Yes.
It's difficult, no?
It's absolutely different. It's absolutely different.
What are the downsides of young artists? Because you're still a young artist. You've been in the business for 7 years. But if you look at the variety of the artists, you're still quite young. Do you think you still have a long way to gain their respect? Or do you think you're on the same, let me put this, level as them, as other artists?
I'm very happy. I feel that I'm just making my all dreams come true. Because when I was 15, when I was in Voice Kids, I was dreaming about playing concerts.
Yeah.
I was dreaming about singing my songs to my audience. I was dreaming about making my own music, developing myself as a composer. Because to be honest, right now I'm trying to find myself as a composer, as a songwriter. Because when I was after the program in boys band, I had not enough opportunities to make it.
Yeah.
So now it's absolutely different cup of tea. And to be honest, I don't know for how long I'm gonna make it. I wish I'm gonna make it like Marla Rodowicz or somebody. It's my huge dream. But the health is the most important thing for me. And I do really care about it. So it's very hard to describe even the level I'm right now. So I think the way is still long, and this journey and this adventure just started.
And it's also exciting.
Yeah, it's also excited. I'm super excited about the next season, because I just finished the season where I had a lot of concerts with amazing energy from people who were just thinking about my music for a whole year. And I'm waiting for the next season. Maybe I'm not gonna make as much concerts as I made this year. I hope it's gonna grow, of course. But this industry is very hard because one day you're the top one, you have a lot of hits, a lot of radios playing your music, and you can earn extremely huge money because of commercials. But when you just make one move, which is not mature enough, let's say, which is not gonna be good for you, then you're just going down, you know. The next day you'll be in a different place, absolutely.
And have you ever experienced that you
to be honest,
wrong
after
decisions?
because we didn't mention about this period when I was in Four Dreamers. It was a boys band.
Yeah.
And
it was created because of The Voice?
Yeah,
they
because
also
of
participated,
The Voice.
Right?
Yes. And we finished this adventure after pandemic, I guess. And I had to find myself in absolutely different reality because I was trying to find a manager, a label, new team, new people. I was trying to, you know, to create new ideas for me as an artist. Who do I want to be, you know? So I remember that I had the time when I just finished this adventure with Four Dreamers, and it was very tough time for me. But I'm very glad that I survived because I could say, okay, I'm just leaving this country. I'm gonna make something different in Spain or in US and I will be happy. Because sometimes I have the thoughts like that because social medias, as I said, generate a lot of negative energy, and it really brings me down, and I'm trying to find a solution how to escape, how to find escape from because of this, you know.
You mentioned now the working abroad, as you said, Spain. Have you ever considered becoming a singer, internationally recognized singer?
I think everybody wants to be an international.
And do you think let me rephrase it, do you think it's easier to do this abroad? Like people are more open-minded, or... Because you also said that you resonate with English lyrics more than Polish in one of your interviews. Sure. So perhaps you want to create more content in English instead of Polish. Do you write English songs?
Yes, I do. And I feel very, very confident when I just write the lyrics in English.
Can you express yourself better in this artistic world of
much
words?
better, because when I just write the lyrics in Polish, I feel like sometimes these lyrics sound very silly for me. And I don't know, like now I'm working at the studio and working on new songs, new material, and it's half in English, half in Polish.
Okay.
And I feel much more confident in English, of course, but I know that my audience is waiting still for me expressing myself in Polish, because it's, to be honest, it's necessary because we live in Poland.
Yeah.
And this is our native language.
Indeed, it is.
Yes.
But on the other hand, diversity is good too.
Yes.
If you can find a balance, perhaps.
Yes. I really want. I'm still working on English versions of some songs from this Polish material. I don't know if the international career is super easy.
But are you ready for it? Meaning, have you grown as a person to really open up to new challenges, which also are part of, when you go abroad? I mean, you need to have a thick skin. Do you know what I mean?
It for sure is going to look absolutely different. But we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that it's hard to say right now because, of course, in my mind, I can feel ready. But on the other hand, the God has different plan for sure. And maybe I'm not ready enough for that kind of pressure or something. I was watching a lot of interviews with Edyta Górniak, and she's asking till this day, why you didn't make the international career? You had a lot of opportunities. Like, she told everybody, like, of course I could, but the pressure was too high, and I was caring about myself and about my mental health, about...
Which is extremely important.
Yes,
if you think about
it's
it.
very, very important, because, you know, you can just lose yourself very easy in this industry. It's very easy.
Yeah.
A lot of people are taking drugs, for example, because they think that it's super easy way just to, you know, to warm up yourself, kinda, and play more concerts, make more content,
be more
productive,
but then that really isn't. I mean, it might be productive just for a couple of, I don't know, just for a short amount of time, but then you see the downgrade, right, of those people very often.
Yes, sure. And it's, you know, it's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous, and people don't know about this dark side of show business, and they just see you smiling in a camera or in a TV show or somewhere, but we artists, we are an artist, and sometimes we really have bad days,
which is completely fine.
But the audience sometimes
requires you to put on a mask and
yes. So it's all about perspective, you know, fresh choices. Just following your instinct.
Following your gut feeling,
it's very important.
If you were to give one piece of advice for young cohorts, for 15-year-olds who dream, who aspire to be singers, to be artists, to be dancers, whatever it may, what would you say to them?
It's super hard, because actually I don't know what can I say even to me when I was 15 years old. It's very hard. I'm not mature enough to make... No, I think that I'm very mature, but I'm not mature enough and no experienced enough to tell somebody, you should do something like that, or you should make something like that, or you'll be better at it. No, I don't know. Like, you know, it's very hard to be advisor. Like, a good advisor will not give you advice. Will just ask you a question, and then you'll answer to yourself.
Perhaps this is the good advice, to keep asking yourself questions, and eventually you'll find an answer to those questions, right? And trial error things. I mean, you need to try things out.
Yes, you just need to try things out, and when you're in this first part of your, let's say, career or adventure with music, just try to know yourself better, because of, you know, meetings with new people, producing music with people who really feels your emotions, and will give you a space to write the lyrics, just to produce, just to be an artist, make your art no matter what.
And with that, we're gonna wrap up. It was a pleasure having you here and talking to you. I've really had a good time, and I wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And bye to you too.
Thank you so much. It was really pleasure to talk with you. I hope I didn't make a lot of mistakes.
No, it was all good. Don't worry about it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.